To our market close. What a red day. I have not seen a day this red in a long time. So definitely we have, holy cow. I have got to fix that. Give me 1 second. I have one of my windows open and it's reverberating on us all. This is not good. Let me see here. This is not good. All right. There we go. It's all fixed. Holy banana bread. That was fun. All right. Anyway, back to the red day. Holy cow. So yeah, we definitely have a red market today. We'll definitely talk about that. We'll be pulling up the heat map here in a bit. This is just crazy. Look at how many of you guys are in here. This is just really, really nuts. But in a good, nuts in a good way. So let's just hit the chat first. We'll get that out of the way. Of course, we'll have the bell. We're going to talk about the watch list today as well. So we got tons of fun little stuff on the agenda. All right. Sammer was first in the house. My like is already done. Ha ha ha. Awesome. Absolutely. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't hit it yet. Let's get those likes way up there today. Vancouver Isle guy says mine is also in, and Vic Gill is another early bird. And according to Vancouver Isle guy, the early bird catches the worm. And here's my little image of that in emoticons. So Vic says, can we start early? I did, Vic. I actually hit the begin stream 8 seconds early just for you. So now, mind you, you've got your 90 seconds of ads. So, it just meant that, I don't know, it's in 8 seconds. You get 8 more seconds, Vic. What can I say? So do owls really eat worms? Probably not. It was just, they didn't have a robin. The other birds kind of sucked. So I went with the owl because, that's kind of just the way I roll. I think owls are more or less small rodents, animals. Rob's in the house with, Rob is in the house with a hello. And the TSX getting hit hard again today. Yes, absolutely. There's a reason we called this live stream the Red Strokes, because that's all it seems to be on the TSX. There are some green, and we're going to look at that momentarily. Well, here, let me bring up the... there we go. Let me bring up the heat map for you guys. There we go. All right. So this is our heat map. Look at this. Oh, my God. It's just absolutely like, if you look at the banks, Royal Bank down 8.85%, TD's down, BMO's down, Brookfield Corporation is down 1.26%. Over here, Enbridge is down. It's just absolutely crazy. Look at this. CNR is down 1.81%. There are some people, though, that are up. Let's just take a look at who's up. We're going to get rid of the big negative. So we got a few. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they're up 0.15%. Reuters is up, Reuters. Let's see, they're down a little bit. Dollarama's up by a smidgen. Canadian Tire up by a smidgen. RBI up by a smidgen as well. I'll keep in mind there's news on RBI where they're buying a bunch of the Burger King. So we have to see how that's going to work out. Now look over here. Let's actually go up to, I'm going to go up to the bigger winners. We've got Sapito, we got Gildan, 1X, Skidoo. Skidoo is doing really well today, so that's not too bad. Aritzia is up 1.10%. So there are some winners on the day, but now we'll bring it back to the full picture. And holy banana bread, it is red, really, really, really red. Now, if we look at the U.S. is red too. So it's not just Canada. So the markets in general have been hit pretty hard today. Look at this. Tesla's down 2.54%. Apple's down a little bit. Microsoft is down a little bit. Google's down a full percent. It's Amazon's down 1.21%. Let's take a gander at crypto. Let's see how crypto's doing. So crypto, for the most part, is down. Look, Ethereum's down 1.81%, Bitcoin 0.68%. Solana's up 4.28%. Avalanche is up 2.4%. So we got a little bit of green in crypto, but not a lot. Not a lot. Overall, it's been kind of a disappointing day, if you ask me. All right, let's just pull that away here for a moment. We'll get caught back up with these chats. Now Vancouver Isle guy is saying we have incompetent government up in Canada. A lot of people believe that, but that's what elections are for, so that we can out with the old, in with the new. 2 more years. And let's see, Freeland is at the World Economic Forum right now. Oh dear, yikes. Perlovia says, rough day on the market, hard to get in the mood to even buy low. But here's the thing. This is when you should be getting in the mood, right? This is when you can get hopefully lower your average cost base or your adjusted cost base, whichever you want to call it. You can call it either, by the way. Sometimes you'll hear average cost base. Sometimes you'll hear adjusted cost base. Exact same thing. Ian says, my Colombian girlfriend does not like this show. Okay. Well, it's probably something she doesn't know a lot about Canadian stocks and economy. So that's okay. Now, if she has her own account, she could always come in and hit the dislike button, I guess. Vancouver Isle guy says, hello, banana. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Stan's in the house. Quick hello from Stan. Paul says, only stocks not down today from my portfolio. Alimentation Couche-Tard, Costco, McDonald's, Pepsi, UNH, Visa. Yeah, look, I mean, there's some good stocks that are still doing okay. But unfortunately, most of the market is reacting really, really, really negatively. Now, some people have been saying to me, what the heck is going on? Why are we seeing this red like it is today? There's a couple of reasons. There's definitely a couple of reasons. I think one, we've had indications that inflation in December is kind of high. Like our CPI came out for Canada and it came in hot. And it came in hot as well for the US last week. So there is a lot of sentiment around. People are a little bit worried. We've also got rate hike meetings for both the Fed and Canada on the agenda. So they're coming up pretty soon. And people are a little bit worried, like, oh my God, are we not going to get these rate cuts anymore because inflation just decides to be sticky? Now, one good point, and this worked last week for the US, and it works this week for Canada, is the PPI. So the Producers Price Index wasn't that bad. So that was showing a little bit of signs of some goodness. So we did have a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. And as I've been sort of saying, I think a lot of it is people who've been saying that, oh, we're going to get that first rate cut in the spring. That's just, I don't see that. I see it all being in the second half. But I think those people are now kind of a little bit worried as well, because now that they're starting to see a little bit of stickiness in inflation, they're thinking, okay, we're probably not going to see that anytime soon. So Paul says, junk food, gas, unique Costco stuff, fast food, sugar drinks and snacks, health, something to buy it all. Yeah, absolutely. Vic says, I bought TD, couldn't help it. Well, it's a red day. Why not? Ian bought some more WCP. Not a bad choice. Sophie says, hey, Candace. Hey, Mountain Crew. Hey, Sophie. Good to see ya. Jordan is in. Good afternoon, Candace and chat family. Good afternoon, Jordan. It's always good to see ya. And let's see here. Chat to Spare says hi, folks. Sorry, Change to Spare says hi, folks. Vic says CSU was $1,000 per share cheaper just 4 months ago. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, CSU is a monster. Enid's in the house with a hello to everyone. And I knew Enid was coming in because over there on the Facebook group, there's also a little chat that a few people got running and going. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So I was talking to her earlier over there on the chat. Mary Finn says, but VFV. Yeah, there we go. A good old Vanguard ETF just to sort of get a wider exposure to a lot of different things, a lot of different companies. Vic says, I own XIT, which is 25% Shopify and 25% CSU. That's not too bad. Shopify was down today, quite a bit, actually. Um, let's see. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but the nameless person, we're going to say red afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it was very, very red. Hence, of course, we got the red lights on in the background. Vic says, I bought TD on the US side, not TD.to. Okay, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Vancouver Isle guy says, CDI news putting folks in a panic. Yeah, people right now are very easily rattled. We're at a point that when it comes into our recovery, and as we start moving through the flatness that I've foreseen for the first half of the year, and start moving towards a bull market later in the year, I think it's not going to take much to sort of shake confidence. Anytime people see things that make it look like, uh-oh, we're going back to where we were, or uh-oh, the bears are starting to rear their head again, I think people are panicky. So we're going to see a lot of this volatility in the first half of the year. So get used to these red days, get used to some good green days. We're going to have them both. But here's the beautiful thing. The red days are going to be great opportunities for buying the dip so that you're set up for when we do move into the next bull market. Vic says Iran seems to be launching missiles everywhere. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of volatility in the Middle East for sure. Hopefully it doesn't get any more volatile than it already is, but sadly it probably will. Let's see. Vic says maybe that has something to do with the markets. I don't know. I know I've had some people say, well, what the heck's going on? Is there some big black sheep event going on today? And I don't think there is. I think this is just part of this volatility that is going to be kind of the new normal for a little bit. So perhaps maybe 6 months, well, maybe 5.5 months now. We'll have to see how long it takes before we get to the switchover. But I do think we're going to get a lot more volatility this year. At least the first half. Prairie's in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. Listening as I work. Not bad, not bad. Hopefully I don't pull your productivity down too much. Vic says minus 15 yesterday felt tropical. That's right. Yeah, you guys have had some really cool temperatures in Alberta and the prairie. So a minus 15, not too shabby. Jordan says 29 in-house and we need all of those likes, please. Yeah, absolutely. Let's hit 29 likes. So just smash on the like, turn it blue. We'll get it out there. Ian says, I've got to watch this later. See ya. Well, take care, Ian. Take care. Enjoy the heat in Colombia. Vic says, Ian the gardener. Oh, yes. Apparently, Ian Googled his name and found another Ian Pollard who happens to be a very naturalist type gardener. We'll just leave it at that. Goldman's in the house and wants to know, where are you in Canada? I'm located in Ottawa. So I am in Ottawa. Let's see. Goldman says I hold GSY, ATD, and DOL. So yeah, like between especially Alimentation, Couche-Tard, and Dollarama, those are two stocks I absolutely love. And Goldman says 10% hike in property taxes in Ontario. Damn it. Yeah. And this is one of the bad things is that, we've seen after the pandemic, we've sort of seen the way things have been going with the bigger governments. Now it's the municipal governments coming in, and they're starting to do some crazy things like I can't talk today. Like property taxes are being risen. I know Toronto, they're looking at more and more taxes. So be prepared for your municipalities to start really ramping up the taxes, as if we all have that money to spare. I don't think they care, but it's coming. It is absolutely coming. Paul says, account going back up, people buying the dip last 7 minutes. That does not surprise me. That does not. Well, that's the thing. It's like, because from day to day, tomorrow could very well be a green day. So people might be like, let's get this dip before the day ends. Markets do tend to finish a little bit stronger because it is a lot of those people who wait for the last hour, last 30 minutes to see if they can find some good deals and get in and get out. Let's see. Kevin Katz says, hi, Candace. Hello. Good to see you. And Save Our Planet. Hi, everyone. Exciting market today. Here's one for the watch list, MKL. So MKL. I do not know who I. Oh, the bell. There we go. Whoops. I'm about 10 seconds late. But keep in mind as well, it looks like I'm later than I actually am because there's a little bit of a lag. So what I'm saying at this second, you hear in about 10 seconds. So if it always looks like I'm 10 seconds late, then I'm on time. Just to put that out there. Okay, MKL. Let's pull up the watch list. Give me a second here. I just have to find my watch list. Boop-a-doo. Oh, it seems to be going off my bar. I don't know why, but that's fine. I will just reload it. And first of all, let's bring back our other screen. There we go. Oh, gosh. Yeah, look at this. And actually, before we even go to the watch list, let's just go to the actual markets and see how we finished. So we did, of course, finished in the red. So if you notice here, the S&P 500 down about 0.56%. The TSX, look at that, down a whole 1.21%. Gold's down just over 1%. Oil, though, oil's up about 1%. So we had a little bit of improvement on the oil. Bitcoin down 1.15%. So yeah, a little bit. Pretty much oil is the only play of the day. If you're thinking about things that are going up. All right, let me see if I can find that that watch list of ours. Whoops. Give me a second here. All right, and that should be down here. Weeble. All right, it's loading. It's loading. We'll bring it up and we'll get your MKL over on the watch list. Now, I don't recognize MKL off the top, but here we go. We'll just turn on notifications. Sure, that's just go away. I won't. There we go. All right. MKL. Let's see here. Let's see here. Which one are we looking at? Are we actually looking at, let's see here, Markel Corporation on the New York Stock Exchange? I'll add this. If this is not the right MKL, let me know. We'll change it up. All right, so let's take a look. Here is our watch list. So most of it, of course, is in the red, but a few things finished up. Let's see here. Hammond did okay today. So look at this. They finished up 2.35%. So yeah, and there's Costco. One of you guys mentioned that you had Costco. So they did okay. Let's see here. JN says, hi, friends. And Paul says, our property taxes for 2024 are going up 5.58%. Yikes. That is definitely a good amount. Vic says, think Yiddish dress British. Steve Eisen, a.k.a. The Big Short. There we go. This is going to help me. So the name is Eyal in Hebrew. Okay. So Eyal. All right. I got to remember that. Let me see here. Where are you, Paul? Says Vic. Paul says, there are hints of another rate hikes as inflation is not going down and short-term bond returns are better than long-term bonds. I think people fear that, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think both the Fed and the Bank of Canada are going to be pausing. I'm going to bring this up here. This way here, we can have our Starbucks moment. Not sponsored by Starbucks, but hey, Starbucks, if you want to pay me to drink your coffee online, I will do it. Absolutely good. Although it's not Starbucks coffee, but it could be. It could be Starbucks. Vic says, yeah, I thought it was a lay, but I forgot Hebrew is read right to left. Okay, there we go. Vic is an expert on Hebrew. And Vic says, Mazel Tov. All right, let's see here. Perlovia says, oil is asleep due to U.S. overstock of crude, but that could change quickly. Yeah, absolutely. Oil is one of those commodities that can change on a split second, and it can move quite a lot when it does. Yes, T 2 minutes to the bell. We are already past there. See, I've got to get caught up here. Candace, how was the 2022 honking horns and the new protesters carrying all the foreign flags? Honking horn. Yeah. I didn't hear much of it. Like I'm in the south end of Ottawa, down by the airport. So when we had all of that stuff happening in the city, I really didn't see much of it at all, to be honest. Vic says Synovus is on sale. Very, very well. EL says right is right. There we go. Yes, the bells, the bells, the bells have tolled. It's and Michael the Knight is in there. Yeah, bells, bell time. Yeah, we did. We got there. We got there. Absolutely. All right. Oh, Ray is in the house. Hi, Candace says Ray Taylor. Hello. And Jonathan just arrived. I just got here for the bell. Great. Awesome. At least you caught it. At least you caught it. That is absolutely fantastic. Vic says, I sold a stock and bought something before first settled. Got charged a lot by RBC for doing that. Warning to you all. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's ridiculous when you're dealing with paying a commission on trades. I was talking to, was it Ian? It may have been Ian. We were talking in comments on one of the videos, and we were actually just talking about some of the fees. So let's say, for example, if you put money in your TFSA, and then you start making trades, and you don't have a commission-free broker. So let's say you made enough trades it was $1,000 in commissions over that year. So that $1,000, it's deducted from your TFSA. And you don't get it back because it's not considered a withdrawal. It's considered a fee. So basically, those commissions suck up tiny pieces of your contribution room. So it's one of those reasons that, especially for your TFSA or any registered account, I would highly recommend going with a commission-free broker. So you've got like Wealthsimple, National Bank if you're looking for one of the big six. I think Mogo also has one, and I don't know what it's going to look like when Webull opens theirs up here. So there are options out there for you. All right, Bleak is in the house with a good old greetings. Jonathan wants to know if that is Markle. I do not know. I'm not entirely sure what you were referencing. Paul, being on time is a privilege for all the woke. All right. Ray says markets can't always go up. No, absolutely not. Corrections are very, very healthy for a market. So, and they're very nice to be able to lower your adjusted cost bases, from time to time. And Kiev and Kaz says HMM.A and DE had a better day. Yeah, absolutely. So those of you who follow the 0 to 100K TFSA challenge, if you remember initially, DE, so decisive dividend, they were in the red. They were actually winning the Toad Award, for at least the first, I think, 2 to 3 months. But now they're in. I actually was looking at the stats the other day. They're actually in the green now. They have made up all of that negative, and they are in the green. So that's a nice thing to see. So DE has had a pretty good recovery. Paul says, Vic on Wealthsimple, never have an issue selling a stock, then right away buying a different stock. Yeah, you're not going to run into that on Wealthsimple. Pretty much any of your commission free, you're not going to have issues like that. So that is just one of those things. So Goldman says, hola from cold and windy Toronto. The red in TSX making me warm, but went on sale, baby. Yeah, absolutely. And it's cold here too. It's like a minus 21 wind chill for most of the day. So yeah, definitely not a day to be outside. A good day to be indoors for sure. Vic says 108 days till Berkshire meeting will be weird without Munger. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that there'll be probably be some kind of tribute to Charlie at that meeting. I would think. Paul says BC Lower Mainland. Vic says stock market is the only place where everyone runs away from a sale. There's so many people though, and that's the whole thing. When you're dealing with things like FUD and FOMO, you run into so many people that absolutely do it the wrong way. There's so many people because they give into their emotions, they end up they end up buying high and selling low when it should absolutely be the opposite way. So it's one of those biggest and easiest lessons to learn, buy low, sell high. But so many people have trouble doing it. And it's just because, if you bought something, you thought was a reasonable price and all of a sudden that price starts falling, your instinct is to say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's going down. I'm losing all this money." And then, it's easy to want to jump off at that point. That's the worst time you can jump off. But it's very normal for people to feel that way. All right. JN says, "Wow, I didn't know about the TFSA. Thanks for that info." Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things. So if for whatever reason, let's say you absolutely love your commission, your commissions are not your commissions, but you love your bank and they have commissions, then whatever you do in your TFSA, plan it all out. Don't make a whole bunch of uh little sales, because each time you're making a little sale, if they're charging you, let's say $10 a pop, that's $10 a contribution room gone. Just bang, 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 bang. So you don't want to see that happening. Paul says, Wealthsimple acting up again, not showing holidays. Looking at all counts, just shows three holdings again. Yeah, sometimes I find with Wealthsimple is that they do have a few other issues. Like sometimes when you deposit a large amount of cash into your account, it can screw up your stats for days. So I think it's a work in progress. And I think because Wealthsimple keeps on improving and changing things and making things better, they never get that opportunity to sort of stable it out, because once they have a build they like, instead of working out the bugs, they're thinking about what's next. So that's kind of that thing with Wealthsimple. I love that about them, but sometimes their software can be a little bit wonky because of that. Goldman says yes, but remembering also TFSA is not for trading. Exactly. So I use Questrade and National Bank for my TFSA, and I hold the stocks long term, so I don't mind paying a small fee when I buy and sell. And that's fair. That's fair enough. And that's kind of what I'm saying. If you're not doing a lot of sales, like if you're not that person that's in there tinkering with your TFSA every single day, yeah, and you absolutely shouldn't be trading in your TFSA. So if you're looking at doing swing trading or day trading, that should not happen in your TFSA. You can do it in your RRSP. It's completely fine. But in your TFSA, if you get caught doing it, they're going to, the CRA is going to charge you for it. When I say charge, basically they'll look at your trades and they will be very harsh when they look at it. And they'll be like, nope, that one's business income. That one's business income. That one's business income, not tax-free. And you're going to pay some taxes. So you don't, you don't want to have that happen in your TFSA, because once you've done something that's put yourself on the CRA's radar, they're going to be watching you like closely. So you don't want to get there. Okay. Goldman says, I use commission-free platforms for my swing trading. I love that. That is the way to go. Absolutely. So I do swing trading as well, and I use a personal account within the National Bank direct brokerage for my trading. And the reason I use that one is I really like their interface. I find it really easy to use. So that tends to be the only thing I would love to have is there's this thing called a trailing stop loss. I wish they had that in the National Bank direct brokerage. They don't. So I have to kind of create my own trailing stop loss and make it and actually do the trailing part myself. So once again, Starbucks, call me. They're not gonna, but that's what I can dream. Vic says, anyone here have higher status than core on Wealthsimple? Premium is 100K and generational is 500K. I've heard, I think there's probably at least one person in the community, as far as I know, that has, at least that's told me, that's had some more than 100,000 on Wealthsimple. There's probably more though. Guys, you guys don't have to answer that question if you don't want to, for sure. All right, let's see. Paralovia says premium Wealthsimple Yeah, because you can also just pay for it too. If you want to pay that $10 a month, and then you get the US account. So if you want to hold US stocks without paying commission, you have that option. Now with the National Bank direct brokerage as well, you also can get US stocks, and you don't have to pay $10 a month for it. Verena is in the hair, is in the building. There we go. Perfect. And see, Vic says, I do trading in the TFSA. Look, I have a small account and the CRA won't care. They won't go after, they want to go after day traders. Yeah. I mean, you can do small trades like rebalancing. The big thing to keep in mind is that if you sell a stock, let's say it's in deep profit, and you sell it, that's fine. Just don't buy it back in 30 days because that's what they're looking for. So if you're, if you're doing rebalance, if you're doing some sideways moves, perfectly fine. You don't have anything to worry about, but it's buying and then buying it back. That's, within 30 days, that's where you'll get yourself into a little bit of trouble. Ken is in the house saying, hi, everybody. I'm always catching things after. Well, hey, I'm glad that you're catching it live this time. So that is pretty darn awesome. Paralova says, yes, but what if tomorrow was even a bigger sale day? True enough. And you see, that's the mindset that can get you in trouble. That's one of the reasons when people say dollar cost averaging, tends to do the best when it comes to long-term investing. That's because it takes that guesswork right out. Because if, for example, let's say you're a big Enbridge investor and you want to buy, let's say, 5 stocks a month of Enbridge, you could set it up so on, let's say, the first Monday at let's say not 4 o'clock, Monday at, let's say, 3 o'clock every month, you're buying at that time. So you're going to have times when that's going to be the high price. You're going to have times when that's going to be the really low price. And it averages out. So you end up getting a bit more of a fair value for the stock. And that will over longer periods, that will beat trying to guess the market. Because, like Perlova says, but what if tomorrow is a bigger sale day and you hold off and you get to tomorrow and it's not, it's back in the green, and all of a sudden it's like, I missed that opportunity. And a lot of people who miss the opportunity, a lot of them will be like, well, I'll just pay anyway. And they end up paying for it at a higher price than they would have if they had had a dollar cost averaging system set up. And let's see, Jonathan says Markle is the company name for the ticker MKL. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. All right, give me a second here. Let's try this. MARKEL. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's the one I added. Markle Corporation. There we go. So I did have the right one. Good to know. Vic says, I bought TD at 79.60 times 100. I'll swing trade it if it goes up a few, take the profit and get some DoorDash. Okay. Yeah, you mean the food and not the stock. So hopefully, Vic, you haven't mentioned it yet, but I hope that your quitting smoking is still going nice and strong there. Let us know, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one curious. Tim Smith says, what did I miss about TFSA? I think the big thing about TFSA that we were talking about earlier in the show was that if you have commissions, so if you're not on a commission-free server, all of those commissions, you don't get them back at the end of the year. They actually eat up a little bit of your contribution room. So that was kind of the big thing that came out in regards to that. And also, don't day trade or swing trade in your TFSA. Paul says, I uninstalled Wealthsimple app and installed it back in and signed in. All fine now. Yeah, sometimes that does it. And where they're always doing updates and things like that, sometimes you want to either just uninstall it, reinstall it, or go to your app store and see if there's an update available. So just something to put out there. So Wealthsimple Premium. Let's see. Have you done videos on swing trading? I did one a long time ago. I am due to do another one. So yeah, I will do another one. Probably within the first half of this year for sure. Okay, Tim says, I got drunk and was trading stocks yesterday. Ended up with $10,000 of tattooed chef. Holy banana bread, Tim. Yikes. Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know who Tattooed Chef is, um, they were a company that a lot of the big financial YouTubers in the US were promoting heavily. And they were never really that great of a company. But boy, they got a lot of hype last year. People like Meet Kevin, I think, and uh, I think Andrei Zik, and I'm not sure about Stefan, but a lot of them were just promoting the good old Tattooed Chef. So yeah, that's not a good buy. When you're drunk, though, it probably looks like a good buy. So yeah, don't do your investing if you don't have a clear head. So if you're intoxicated, or perhaps you're having a bad reaction to some cough syrup, just don't invest. Wait till your head's clear, for sure. Saber Planet. Hi, sorry, got called away. Yes, MKL is Marco Group on the NYSE. By the way, Bloomberg TV is live on Prime. Ooh, that I think that's kind of awesome. All right, because yeah, I used to subscribe to Bloomberg TV. Um, and then the whatever reason, after about a year, I got this message saying, "Yeah, we're no longer offering it anymore." And now it's basically I watched a few videos that pop up, but yeah, that's really cool. So for those of you who like the Bloomberg TV, apparently, if you got Prime, you can watch it. Vic says, Tim, you're drunk during market hours. Unless you're in Thailand or something, you might have a problem. Maybe. I don't know. A is in the house. Hi, Candace. I don't care about red days much. Better to go for long term. Plus, use all of my dividend distributions to reinvest. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and it's an interesting thing. A lot of times, too, when people are calculating, um, for example, when you're calculating your total return on what you're going into, a lot of people sometimes count their dividends as actual cash that's been put into the account, and that's something you don't want to do. I'll do a video on this pretty soon, because it is one of these things that people kind of sort of misconstrue a little bit, because the cash that you received, you've already put the investment in that generated that cash. So that cash is 100% pure return. So for dividends distributions, it's, it needs to be counted as such. So it's not part of the initial egg that you put in. So sometimes, and I've seen brokers where it kind of just counts it as new cash you've added when it's calculating its returns. So sometimes your returns are not, look smaller than they actually are. So just something to think about. A says, I'm going for ETFs to remove a lot of guesswork. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you don't have a lot of time. If you do not have a lot of time for investing, ETFs are absolutely the way to go. Just because, they're going to manage, you've got a manager of that ETF who's going to be monitoring what it is they're investing in. So the basket of stocks. And if something starts doing bad, they're going to remove it, put something better in. So that's not a bad way to go at all. Okay, Vic says, no lighter, no smokes. Also, minus 35 makes it all easy to not smoke. There we go. There we go. But you're doing good. 17 days in. Maybe it's going to stick this time, Vic. I'll pray for you. JN says, good work, Vic. Weather is on your side. And Paul says, yeah, Tim might to take a few 12 steps. There we go. A 12-step investing program for people who give in to emotions, or perhaps trade while they're incapacitated. Tim says, I sold Canadian Western Bank purely based on being annoyed by their social media posts. Oh, Tim. Yeah, that's probably not the best way, but hopefully you at least made a profit. It's hard to say, because a lot of the financial banks are down, even though I do like Canadian Western Bank, though. I will say that. Paul says, have you ever watched any Paul Merriman YouTube videos about 4 ETF portfolio with small cap value? They have these charts all the way back to 1928 to see what types did well each year. I've heard of Paul Merriman, but I've never actually watched any. I probably should. That sounds like a very interesting topic. All right. Ah, my good old Starbucks. Let's see. What's your outlook on the uranium situation? Um, I'm still pretty pro uranium. I still think uranium is going to be a way to go. When it comes to minerals, there's a few that I'm pro on. I'm pro uranium because nuclear power is going to be big. I think it's going to be big. There's going to be a higher demand for uranium. So I do like uranium. Now, here is something I was watching yesterday. I was watching a video about lithium, and I was a little concerned because apparently Microsoft and the scientific group, they were using AI to try to find better materials for batteries. And they came up with some really interesting results that are basically moving us away from lithium. So if that ends up being the case, and we start moving away from lithium for more of a sodium ion with a little bit of lithium, and this new compound that AI helped them create, and I can't remember the name of the compound, um, that could be bad for lithium. So I think lithium is probably fine for the next couple of years, but beyond that, you want to be paying attention to what's happening in the battery making market for sure. Just to see here. JN says, Candace, do you have a video on all-in-one ETFs like XEQT? Yes, I do. There is a video on, I think I call it all equity ETFs. So if you look at that, it has XEQT is in it, VEQT, and a few others as well. But it is out there. Now, these are like all equity ETFs. They're really fantastic for one reason. They have a crazy number of stocks in their basket, and these stocks will give you a little bit of exposure to international and emerging markets, in addition to Canada and the US and a whole bunch of others. So they're very, very, very good at diversification. So I would definitely say if you're looking at those all equity, it doesn't hurt to have maybe one of them in your portfolio just for that access. All right. Paul says for ETFs, Wealthsimple has AVUV, but not AVUS. Something about not in Canadian clearing system, just like they don't have AMT, American Tower. Yeah, there's been some issues like with Wealthsimple in the past. Like at one point, they didn't have Disney. So there was a lot of different stocks, and it has to do with, of course, the clearing system. Hopefully that gets resolved, and usually it does after a certain amount of time. But yeah, we've run into that before, and they normally do get it fixed. Hopefully for if they already have AVUV, then I can't see them not getting AVUS resolved eventually. And it took, I think, with Disney, it probably took them about a year to get that resolved. Let's see. Paul says or AMT. Oh, AMT. Got a typo. Okay, there we go. Jan says, okay, thanks. I will check that out. Yeah, absolutely. Tim. Tim says, my uncle was on lithium. He kept trying to lure raccoons into his apartment to try to marry them. The lithium helped him stop that. Okay. Uh, wow. I have a feeling, Tim, you come from a very interesting family. Yeah, hopefully. Uh, I'm sorry that I find that kind of funny. Yeah, raccoons of all things, like those guys, like a raccoon is pretty vicious. I mean, it's like when you say till death do us part with a raccoon, it might be the raccoon that does your death part. I mean, yikes. Yeah, that's not good. Oh dear. All right. Um, well, yeah. Mary says hit the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Always hit the like button. It basically tells the algorithms that we're here, sends it out, and then people who, may perhaps don't even know about the channel can come in and check it out and get exposed to my zany personality. Today is a record, by the way. We've actually got 45 people watching. That's the most we've ever had at one moment. Like normally what happens on one of these live streams, we usually have 100 to anywhere from 100 to 200 people that come through the whole thing. But there's a stat where it tells you what the most people were at any one moment. Our record was 42. Now we get up to 45. So we broke that record today. That is awesome. And that's all you guys. That's all you guys. It's not me. It's you guys. You guys did it. You guys are awesome. A says, do you have any opinion on EQCL and HEQL, covered call world equity? Also, do you like Horizon ETFs like USCL, QQCL, CNCL, and ENCL? I do like the Horizon ETFs. And interestingly enough, tomorrow night, I am going to be doing a channel member live stream. So if you're a channel member, you can attend this live stream tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we are going to be talking about, so the main topic of the night, as voted by the community members, income ETFs for retirement. So that's what we'll be talking about. We'll be looking at split core. We'll be looking at split core technically aren't ETFs, but I figured I would include them. And then we'll be looking at covered call ETFs and a few other different things as we're looking at building portfolios for income, which is going to be, I think, a lot of fun. Those of you who are not channel members and you want to attend that, it's super easy. Right now in the chat, underneath where it has post a comment, there's a little dollar sign looking box thing. Just click on that. You can go in. You can, for the price of a cup of coffee. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can become a channel member, and then you can come in and check that show out tomorrow night. So that's always fine. And we just finished a big promotion too in December. We gave away, oh my God, I don't know exact number, probably somewhere between probably around 60, I think. We gave away around 60 memberships in December. So that was just absolutely crazy. All right. Paul says, poor Tim, hopefully that is not genetic. Funny, but not funny. Yeah, absolutely. Vancouver Isle Guy wants to know, any prediction for tomorrow, US and Canada? If I have to make a prediction, I'm going to say that we're still in the red, but I'm going to say that it's not going to be big red. I'm thinking it's going to be a weak red market. So maybe yeah, I'm just going to say, I think it'll be red, but not by much. So that would be my prediction. But keep in mind, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. It could turn around and go back into the green tomorrow, but I think it will definitely start off in the red. So let's just say that. Tim says, I had 46 people watch me once, but I won't say what I was doing. Yeah, okay. We'll leave that one alone, Tim, but yeah, that was funny. JJ says, hey, Candace and all, made the live. Hey, JJ, you got in towards the end, but that's fantastic. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you made it. And Mario's in the house. It's a record of 45. Yeah. Now, now at this point, we gotta push for 50. So we got to get 50 people into one of these at the same time. I mean, we obviously get more than 50, but people coming and going and catching bits and pieces and all of that. And sometimes people just come in and say hi and say, I'm going to catch it later. We just have to coordinate all that so that we can get 50 at the same time. Paul says, do you post on Blossom about live streams, say 1 to 2 hours before I should do that. I will do that for the news for this week coming up on Sunday. And then we'll try it again for next, for the market close next Wednesday as well. So we'll do the 2 and we'll see what happens. That should be fun. Yes, Tim, you should be a comedian, or at least comedian adjacent. Perlovia says, what are the fees for Blossom? Blossom is free. So, well, there's 2 different versions. There's the normal, just free version of Blossom. So you can go in, you can chat, you can do pretty much everything. There is a Blossom Pro. I can't remember how much that is. It's something like $10 a month or something. I could be wrong on that. I'm just totally guessing. And with that, you get a bunch of extra features. So, for example, there's educational videos that you get access to. You also get more data with your portfolio and that. But the free version is absolutely worth it. So definitely below, there's a link to Blossom. Use my link. Go on in. When you do, send me a follow. I'll follow you right back because I'd love to see what you guys are posting. And, I love to throw my 2 cents in too. So, yeah, definitely do that. JJ says, will there be a tomorrow's live though? I'm excited for your inputs on the income focused ETF Yeah, that will be tomorrow night. So for channel members, so 7 p.m. Eastern, we will have that live. Um, Also, Friday, coming out Friday, channel members can watch it a day early. We've got a Enbridge deep dive. And I'll tell you, I did Enbridge. I did a deep dive in Enbridge about a year ago. Not quite a year ago, but almost a year ago. And it was absolutely, it did really well. And so when you guys voted for me to do Enbridge again, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Well, I know it's going to do well, but I was impressed. I will tell you this much. Their fundamentals between last year and this year, they're better. They're absolutely better. So you'll have to check that one out to know how much they're better. And I did like what I saw. Vic says, we have a fun group here. Let's have a picnic this summer. Sure, if you guys all want to come to Ottawa, we can have a picnic. We just don't invite any ants. And Tim Smith has to come because he can keep us all amused. So if we get 50 people watching, will Candace Mountain commit to giving everyone a free share of HDIF? Huh, that almost sounds like a question you'd get in the House of Commons. So if I give you a House of Commons answer, I'd be like, and yeah, that video tomorrow night for channel members is going to be epic. You got to be there. That's what's really important. Don't you love like when you hi my watch had something to say. Don't you love when you're watching the House of Commons how nobody answers the question they're actually asked? It's hilarious. I kind of wish politicians could actually answer the questions. I think that would be pretty darn good. Vic says only 33 likes. Yeah, there's 43 of you in here at this moment. 10 of you need to hit that like button right now. Actually, 44. So, 11 of you should hit the like button. All right. Gene says, could you comment on Europe ETF like XEF, ZWP, etc.? Is it time to buy? I think there's still more. I think Europe isn't going to recover quite as fast as North America, but I do think that when I say time to buy, they're going to struggle, but that's going to give you a larger window, I think, to get in on some of these ETFs. But yeah, I would dollar cost average. I would say dollar cost average into them. That would be kind of good. And speaking of Europe, we've got Europe George. So hi everyone. I hope, George, are you catching us from Europe? Because otherwise the name is not being as reflective as it could be. And if you are watching from Europe, which country? Let me take a guess. I'm gonna say you're watching from Germany. I'll just pick Germany. But you'll have to let us know. Let's see. Paul says sometimes 1 year of Blossom Pro goes on sale. I paid $45 for a year. Yeah, I did the same thing. I bought a 1 year of it for $45 just because the extra stats are fantastic and they really help with the 0 to 100 challenge. So I did that. JJ says ETFs. Whoops, a typo. Let's see. Paul says mainly ETFs as well. Simple has no real bonds. Yeah, you can get like bond ETFs. So, but yeah, absolutely. That is true. JJ says, I love ENB. Also have ENS just for that yield. So ENS is a split core that invests entirely in ENB. They're one of the split cores I do like quite a bit. And I will be getting back into ENS soon. Let's see. Enid says, I paid $59 for Blossom Pro. And it depends on the sale. Like, I think I remember the sale. It was around 45 that I paid as well. But Enid is big over on Blossom. I see her all over the place. It's fantastic. I love it. And every time I see her, even if she's replying to somebody else, I'll throw a like. I'll throw a like for her. Absolutely. Let's see. Tim Smith says, how big a portfolio do you need to be invited to speak at Davos? 128.7 kilograms. Alan says, catching the late show, shoveling snow in my place in southern Alberta. Holy banana bread. Yeah, shoveling snow is not that fun. Although you could probably, take your phone out with you and listen to me while you're shoveling. That would work. Vic says Baba dipped huge. There you go. If you want that Chinese exposure, this might be your opportunity. Vic says, who knows what really happens with Chinese ADR stocks? Fair question. Fair question. Paul says Eden ETF is a Denmark one sold on the US market. Yes, good old Denmark. Let's see. Ray says, first live chat, I hit the like button. Awesome, Ray. That is fantastic. Oh, we broke the record again. We're up to 46. There's 46 of you here. Wow. Les says, thoughts on Nutrien and Park Lawn. So Nutrien, definitely like Nutrien. And as we start moving towards the growing season, they do tend to do a bit better. So I think Nutrien is going to have a pretty good spring. Probably, I would say spring. And also Park Lawn, I like them as well. But Nutrien is the one that stands out for me. So I do think they're a very strong long-term investment. Let's see. Paul says, sorry, I paid $59.99. Just look in Blossom. Why does a 45 sound like it was the number? Maybe not. Maybe maybe I didn't. I don't know. Look at this. I got it right. Europe George is from Germany. Awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. I was like, there's so many countries in Europe. There was so much chance that I could get that wrong. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, woo, 47. Yeah, look at that. We got up there. We peaked. It was great. Paul says, I made a post on Blossom about 5 minutes ago. Awesome. I'll have to check that. As long as I follow you, it should show up in my feed, so then I can check out your post. And Ken is throwing us a big happy face. Yeah, this has been a great stream today. I think we've had a fantastic market close. Prairie says, took a small position in NTR yesterday. Not surprising. Prairie is a good investor, and that's not a bad buy. Vancouver Isle guy. Holy banana bread. What a great guess. I know. I was like, it was just like, it could have been anything. Now, I mean, I guess if his name was Europe, let's see, Vinio or something, I might have went with Italy, but George seems like a pretty good German sounding name to me. Pirilova is saying that Park Lawn is very diluted. You got to worry about that dilution a little bit, but and I haven't had the opportunity to deep dive Park Lawn. I mean, I like them as a company. I definitely want to. Park Lawn was up for the vote for the deep dive, and they never won. I was actually disappointed. I was like, so I would like to deep dive them though. And see, Country Auto Garage. Greetings from Windsor Assembly Plant. Nice. Windsor. I almost moved to Windsor once, but I ended up choosing Ottawa over Windsor. And I think I've told the story online. I was like, when I first moved to Ontario, I was moving there from Kelowna. I went to Hamilton. I had a cousin who lived in Hamilton. Well, of course, I got there. My cousin no longer lived there. I was like, oh, great. And I didn't like Hamilton. Now, this was a few years ago, so Hamilton wasn't as clean as it is now. And I hated Hamilton so much. I was like, I got to move. After a month in Hamilton, I'm like, I'm moving. And I didn't know where to go. I had friends in Windsor and I had friends in Ottawa. So I was like, I was torn between the two and I wanted to go to both, but I didn't know. So I flipped a coin and Ottawa won the coin toss. And so voila, we were off to Ottawa. So I have technically moved by a coin toss. It's like, wow. So Vic says, let's keep going until it's January 18th. Holy banana bread. Well, here's the good thing, Vic. When I get to 5,000 subs, we are going to do an open to close live stream. So open to close, big bang. Now we are moving towards 3,000. And for that one there, I'm going to do a sort of a news parody, a financial news parody video for you guys for that one. So I always do that when we hit milestones. I do some interesting stuff. The last milestone at 2,000, we did the Hot Ones challenge. So that was fun. When we hit 1,000, we did a drinking challenge, and I don't drink, so that was definitely fun too. All right. Paul says stock-based compensation would be a good video to watch out for stocks that give away too much stock-based compensation. Yes. That is not a bad topic at all as well. So I do like that one. Oh, new record, 48. We're up to 48. Just two more people. If two more people come in, we can get to that 50. Lisa's in the house. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you. Vic says, if I worked for a hot tech company, I want stock-based compensation, wouldn't you? So why all the hate? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of that thing. If I work for a company, sure, I don't mind some stock-based compensation. But yeah, we'll dig into it. We'll do a video on it because I think that's kind of really interesting. Because I think it's a little more complicated than it appears on the surface. But let's put that. We'll park that for now. Vic says, I want a share of the profits for my work. Yeah, makes sense. Jersey Beef, have you took a deep dive on NTR? The stock was at the lowest price all year. I did do an NTR deep dive a while back. Probably, I'd say it's probably about a year and a half ago, maybe. But they would be an ideal one for, and I'll throw them back in the pool for you. Because yeah, I would love to revisit NTR. Paul says, Country Auto Garage, my relatives all worked for the auto parts and union. I heard of one relative that filled radiators for most of his career. And Vic was pointing out the 48. Yeah. Even if we don't get to the 50, I'm tickled pink at 48. As long as we're pulling up a little bit more. And we have the infamous Skits in the house. Skiz. I've joined my TV, iPhone, and computer. We're not at 50 yet. Oh, Skiz. No, we're not at 50. We're at right now. Well, now we've fallen back to 44. It moves all over the place, but yeah, no, Skiz is awesome. Skiz was one of these people that all through the giveaway, we were trying to get Skiz to win, and he just did not win. I don't know. I still can't figure that one out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun watching Skiz not win, even though we all wanted him to win. I would have exploded. I would have absolutely exploded in joy if Skiz had won during that contest. Maggie's in the house saying hello. Hello, Maggie. Paralovis says, sanction Russia and NTR takes off. Yes, absolutely. Mario says, I live in Ottawa. Great, clean city. That's where I live right now. So definitely a good city. Yeah, no, I like it here. It's not bad. It's boring, but it's clean and it's nice. Let's see. Enid says, skip. Thanks. I almost took a position today in NTR. Okay, well, while they're at the low, this is the time to buy. That's for sure. Yeah, Skiz is in the house. Paul says, I am streaming from phone and PC and Android TV. You are echoing everywhere. It's like I'm in 4D stereo. There we go. Paul, no. Let's see. Vic says, the world food supply needs NTR and Mosaic for potash. Yeah, absolutely. Mario says, let's hit 49. The rest need pot. Okay. Ken says, we're at -8 in Windsor, and we're all about to fall apart down here. Yeah. Yeah. No, up here, it's like I said, -21 wind chill. Now, is that your wind chill, Ken, or is it -8, and then you got a wind chill on top of that? Paul says, I think you need different accounts to be streaming to count. I think it is true. I don't think it counts if you're all on the same account. And maybe it even works that way with, I don't know if it works that way with like IP address. No, I think if multiple people are watching from the same IP address, I think you're still fine. So it'd be interesting to see. I've never really dived too deeply into that because the algorithm seems to do its own thing. So that's not too bad. Oh, there we are. Look at that. We're back up to 48 again. Holy banana bread. Throw something really interesting in chat that just sucks some people in to watch, and we'll push that number to 50, right? Let's see here. Elisa says, "Hi, Ken. I live near Windsor." Oh, sounds like there's a lot of a lot of folks down in that part of the country. So that's not too shabby. Whoops. Skiz says, "Anyone else gobbling up TD stock today?" Vic bought some. Vic got some. Oh, Vic bought both. Both the Canada and the U.S. Lisa works. So Lisa works in the city. So I assume Windsor. There we go. Now, isn't Windsor about to get a new bridge over to Detroit? I thought I heard something about that. So just kind of a thought. So I don't know if that will, how much that will improve things. But I know there's a lot of movement between the two. I know there's a lot of Canadians in Windsor who like work in Detroit, and probably, I don't know if it works both ways, but you would not be surprised. And Lisa says, "I didn't know there were others down this way." Yeah, absolutely. Once we get the Discord, I'm thinking we could probably do like a section where where people are. So that way there, if for example, if Lisa's looking and sees that there's different people in Windsor, she could be like, "Oh, I want to go and hang out with with so and so." So definitely could be interesting. Enid says, "I was looking for 2 more likes." We're just looking for 2 more people, 2 more eyeballs on the actual show itself, just to get us to that 50. We're at 48, so that's not too bad. So, the Gordie, so the Gordie Howe Bridge. Okay. Okay, so Gordie tells us how to get across the water. Now, Gordie Howe, the famous hockey player. PJB Widgets. I switched accounts on the phone, saw the ads. Okay, well, thank you for watching the ads, because that's how I get paid. Holy banana bread, we've hit 50. We got 50 people in here. This is absolutely epic. This is an epic stream. All right, Mario, I need to buy some magma stock. All right, that stock's pretty hot. That was a joke. Vic says, "Is they the singer for the hip or hockey player?" It's probably going to be for the hockey player, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Where was Gordie from the Tragically Hip? Is he from Windsor? I could be wrong on that. I just assumed it was the hockey player. CP Rockstar says, "Any thoughts about XTD 10% yield?" I haven't looked at them lately, so I definitely should take a gander. Yeah, I can't really give you an opinion without having a good look at them. Country Auto says, "Bridge, mega hospital, and mega battery plant, but don't move here. It's horrible." Okay. Okay. That's fair enough. JJ says, "Discord the best." Yes, I am looking to do that sooner than later. So I've already got the name in Discord. I just have to sort of set up a few things and it will be ready to go. Okay, just kidding. I love my city. That's good. That's good. Yeah, we got the 50. That is just fantastic. Prairie says, "Woohoo! 50 rocket ship. 50." Yes, it's after the hockey player. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Wow. I cannot believe that we got to 50 today. It's like normally I find on YouTube, it's like when I break a record, I break it by a little bit here, a little bit there. But that's shattering. We just pounded an extra 8 in. You guys all rock. That's why I love doing these. And these are going to happen the rest of the year. So the Wednesdays, and we'll figure things out as we go, but I'll probably throw a couple of extra ones in here and there too, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And PJB Widgets is like, "I'm Paul." Yeah, okay. I was thinking once you said that you watched the ads again coming in that it was probably Paul. So but thank you for confirming it. Vic says, "What was the scandal with previous UAW president?" I don't know. I honestly don't know. So maybe somebody in chat knows and they can throw you an answer. but I do not know personally. All right. So anyway, last minute questions, throw them in. I mean, it's funny, we almost ended about 10 minutes ago. But then, the quest to 50, we had to do it. We had to stay to 50 because, we're on a roll. Let's get that done. So yeah, if you have any last minutes, throw things in. So as I said, coming up this week, we have the channel members only live stream tomorrow night. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be looking at retirement income ETFs. So we'll be looking at some portfolios. And then, of course, the Friday video, channel members get to watch it an entire day early. That's going to be the deep dive on Enbridge. And we'll be back here with the news on the weekend, of course, on this week. And then we'll be back with another list video Tuesday. And we'll be back here again in 1 week time. And we're going to do it all over again. It's going to be fantastic. Now that we've hit 50, I'm going to be expecting that next week as well. So it's the new norm, the new 50. Let's just keep it going. Let's see. Mary wants to know, do you like XDV? Thinking of getting out. It's another one I need to look at a little bit closer, but I know I had some issues with it in the past, so I don't think it's a bad idea to get out. Hopefully you're in the green, though. Here, Lisa has an answer for you, Vic. So the UAW was taking bribes from Chrysler, pushing concessions and crappy contracts on their memories in exchange for money. Yikes! Yeah, that's never good. They have since drained the swamp, so there we go. A lot less peat moss and hopefully some new blood that's going to run everything a little bit better. Vic says goodbye. And PJB Widget says, I talked to Wealthsimple. They do not allow USD in an RRIF accounts, but they said by the end of 2024 or early 2025. That's interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, you can have USD in your RRSP, so they probably want to get that in place because, otherwise it's forcing you to convert it. And it's never good because then you got conversion fees and all of that fun stuff. All right, everyone, this is the end. This has been fantastic. You guys have been great. Those of you watching this on the replay, you guys rock as well. We'll see you again soon, everyone. Take care. This is going to be fun. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.